I was 12 weeks pregnant when my body decided I wasn't allowed to be a mother. I was sitting on the bathroom floor of my apartment in Chicago, staring at blood that shouldn't have been there, feeling cramps that felt like my insides were tearing apart. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. I called my husband first. Julian was in Detroit for a work conference. He answered on the second ring. "Harper, what's wrong?" "I'm bleeding," I said. My voice didn't sound like mine. A lot. "I'm getting on a plane right now," he said. "Call your mom. Call 911 if you need to. I'll be there in 3 hours." He hung up. I sat there for another minute, trying to breathe, trying to understand what was happening to me. Then I called my mom. She picked up on the fourth ring. "Harper, what's up, sweetie?" "Mom," my voice cracked, "I think I'm losing the baby." There was a pause. Not the kind where someone is absorbing terrible news. The kind where someone is deciding whether this is worth their time. "Oh, honey," she said. Her tone was light, dismissive, like I'd just told her I had a headache. "These things happen for a reason. Your body probably knew something was wrong." I stared at the wall. "What?" "I'm just saying," she continued. "Maybe you weren't ready. Your body knew." I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I just sat there with the phone pressed to my ear, bleeding onto the bathroom floor, while my mother told me I wasn't ready to be a mother. "Mom," I whispered, "I need you." "I know, sweetheart, but I'm at Tori's right now. We're finalizing the baby shower seating chart. It's a whole thing. Can I call you back later?" I hung up. I didn't go to the hospital right away. I just sat there on the cold tile, staring at nothing, feeling my body betray me while my mother chose my sister's party over my pain. Julian made it home in 2.5 hours. He found me still on the bathroom floor, pale and shaking. He didn't ask questions. He just picked me up, carried me to the car, and drove me to the ER. The doctor confirmed it. Miscarriage. Complete. There was nothing they could do. "I'm so sorry," she said gently. I nodded. I didn't cry. I was too numb. That night, lying in a hospital bed with an IV in my arm and an empty space where my baby used to be, I checked my phone. No missed calls from my mom, no texts. But she'd posted on Instagram a photo of my sister Tori's nursery, pale blue walls, a white crib, a rocking chair in the corner. The caption read, "Can't wait to meet my grandson. 3 more weeks. Hashtag grandma life. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag baby boy." The post had been made 20 minutes after our phone call. 20 minutes after I told her I was losing my baby. She was posting about Tori's. Before I tell you what I found in the family group chat I wasn't supposed to see, drop your city or country in the comments so I know where you're watching from. And if you've ever had your pain dismissed by the people who should have protected you, hit like and subscribe. Because the story gets so much worse. I turned my phone off and stared at the ceiling. And I realized something. My mother didn't see me as her daughter. She saw me as an inconvenience, and my grief was bad for her image. I need you to understand something about my sister before this goes any further. Victoria, everyone calls her Tori, wasn't a bad person. She didn't ask to be the favorite, she just was. She was 3 years younger than me, blonde, effortlessly pretty, the kind of person who smiled in every photo and never had a bad angle. She married Brad Mitchell 2 years ago, a finance guy who made 6 figures and wore expensive watches. They lived in a renovated brownstone in Lincoln Park. They went on European vacations. They posted about date nights and wine tastings and how blessed they were. I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment in Wicker Park with my husband Julian, who worked in IT. We were comfortable, we were happy, but we weren't impressive. And my mom, Diane Winters, cared about impressive. She cared about what people saw, what people thought, what she could post about. And Tori gave her plenty to post about. When Tori announced her pregnancy 6 months ago, my mom threw her a gender reveal party. 40 people catered. A balloon arch. A cake that exploded blue powder when they cut into it. I'd found out I was pregnant 2 weeks before that party. I was going to tell my family at the gender reveal. I thought it would be a sweet moment. 2 sisters, pregnant together, supporting each other. But when I got there and saw the party my mom had thrown, saw how much attention Tori was getting, saw how my mom was glowing with pride, I stayed quiet. I told myself I'd wait until I hit 12 weeks, the safe point. The point where you could breathe a little, where the risk dropped, where you could finally let yourself believe it was real. I never made it to 12 weeks. The week after my miscarriage, I stayed home. I didn't leave my apartment. I didn't answer calls. I just lay on the couch, staring at nothing, trying to understand how my body had failed me. Julian took time off work. He brought me soup I couldn't eat. He held me while I cried. He didn't try to fix it. He just stayed. My mom didn't visit. She texted once, "Thinking of you, honey. Let me know if you need anything. Rest up, red heart." That was it. Meanwhile, she posted on Facebook about Tori's baby shower. Photos of decorations, gift baskets, a dessert table shaped like a stork. The caption? "Can't wait to spoil my grandson. Best day ever with my baby girl. Hashtag baby shower. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag grandma to be." 63 comments. All congratulating her. All telling her she was going to be the best grandma. I read every single one of them, and I felt something cold settle in my chest. 2 weeks after the miscarriage, my mom called and asked if I'd come to Sunday dinner. "Tori really wants to see you," she said. "She misses you." I almost said no, but I didn't have the energy to fight, so I said yes. Julian drove me to my parents' house in Oak Park. My dad, Robert, was grilling in the backyard. My mom was setting the table. Tori was sitting on the couch, one hand on her belly, scrolling through her phone. She looked up when I walked in and smiled. "Harper? Oh my God, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever." "Yeah," I said quietly. "It's been a while." She stood up and hugged me, her belly pressed against mine, the place where my baby used to be. "How are you?" she asked. "I'm okay." "Good." She pulled back and smiled again. "I'm so glad you're here. I need your opinion on something." She pulled out her phone and showed me photos of baby clothes. Tiny onesies, little shoes, hats with ears on them. "Which one is cuter?" she asked. I stared at the screen, at the perfect little outfits for a baby that would actually be born. "They're both cute," I said. "I know, right? I can't decide. Maybe I'll just get both." My mom came over, drying her hands on a towel. "How are you feeling, Ariana?" "Fine," I said. She nodded. "Good. I'm glad you're doing better." "You look better." I didn't look better. I looked hollow, but she wasn't really looking at me. She turned to Tori. "Did you show her the nursery photos?" "Not yet." Tori pulled up more photos. The nursery my mom had posted about. Blue walls, white furniture, a mobile with clouds and stars hanging over the crib. "It's beautiful," I said. And it was. But all I could think about was the empty room in my apartment that I'd started planning in my head. The room that would stay empty now. We sat down for dinner. My dad asked Julian about work. My mom asked Tori about her latest doctor's appointment. No one asked me how I was. Not really. After dinner, I went to the bathroom to wash my hands, and that's when I saw it. My mom's iPad was on the counter, screen still lit. A group text was open. The group name, Tori's Baby Fund Blue Heart. I froze. I read the messages. My mom had sent a message 3 months ago. Hey family, we're setting up a fund to help Tori and Brad with baby expenses. Crib, stroller, nursery furniture, etc. If anyone wants to contribute, every bit helps. Let's spoil our girl. Blue heart. The responses came fast. Aunt Cheryl, count me in. $200. Uncle Dan, happy to help. $150 sent. Cousin Maya, this is so sweet. $100 from me. I scrolled through the thread. 12 people had contributed. The total, $6,000. $6,000 for Tori's baby expenses. I stared at the screen, my hands shaking. I'd spent $2, $400 out of pocket for my miscarriage, the ER visit, the D&C procedure, the follow-up appointments. No one had asked if I needed help. No one had started a fund. No one had even sent flowers. I took a screenshot. Then I closed the iPad and walked back out to the living room. My mom was laughing at something Tori said. My dad was loading the dishwasher. Julian was helping him. I sat down on the couch and stayed quiet. Because I was starting to realize something. This wasn't new. This had always been the dynamic. Tori got celebrated. I got tolerated. And my miscarriage was just one more thing they wanted me to get over quietly. But I wasn't going to be quiet anymore. I didn't sleep that night. I kept seeing the group chat on my mom's iPad, Tori's baby fund blue heart, like it was burned into my eyes. $6,000 raised in a week for baby expenses, with heart emojis and "let's spoil our girl" messages stacked like bricks. And the part that kept punching me in the chest wasn't even the money. It was the fact that I'd been pregnant too. I'd been excited too. I'd been scared too. And when I lost my baby, the family didn't mobilize, they didn't rally, they didn't even pause. They just kept planning. The next morning, Julian was already up making coffee. He moved quietly, like the apartment was a hospital room and I was the patient. "How'd you sleep?" he asked. I laughed once, like a dead person. He came over and sat beside me on the couch. "You want to talk about it?" I pulled my phone out and showed him the screenshot I'd taken from my mom's iPad, the baby fund thread, with names, amounts, and my mom's message at the top. Julian's jaw tightened. "They raised $6,000, he said. "For Tori," I whispered, "for the stroller and crib and whatever else she needed." He stared at the screenshot, then looked up at me. "Did anyone know you were pregnant?" "No," I said. "Only you and Imani." "So in their minds, you were just quiet." "Even after the miscarriage," I said. "They knew then. And still, nothing. No visit, no flowers, no meal. Just one text, and then back to grandma life." Julian exhaled hard, like he was trying to keep his temper from snapping in half. "Harper, this isn't just favoritism. This is cruelty." I nodded because if I spoke, I'd start shaking. Around noon, my phone buzzed. A text from my mom. "Mom, baby shower committee meeting tonight at 6. Don't forget." I stared at it, confused, like the words weren't in English. Then another text. "Mom, Tori's really sensitive right now, so please be positive. This isn't about you." I read that line 3 times. This isn't about you. My baby had died inside my body less than 2 weeks ago, and somehow my grief was an inconvenience, a mood killer, a distraction from her real storyline. I typed back before I could overthink it. "Me? I'm not coming." 3 dots appeared, disappeared. Then, "Mom, don't be dramatic. Your family. Show up." There it was again. That word she used like a leash. Dramatic. I put my phone down and just sat there breathing. In, out, In, out, like I was trying to keep myself from crumbling. Julian watched me for a moment, then said quietly, "You don't have to go." "I know," I said. "But if I don't, she'll rewrite it. She'll tell everyone I'm unstable, that I'm jealous, that I'm trying to ruin Tori's moment." "And if you do go?" I looked up at him. "Then I watch her get praised for being an amazing mom while I'm treated like a problem." Julian reached for my hand. "So what do you want to do?" I didn't answer right away. Because the truth was, I didn't know what I wanted. I only knew what I couldn't do anymore. I couldn't keep swallowing it. I couldn't keep letting her call my pain dramatic and expect me to smile through it. So I called Imani. She answered immediately. "Okay, talk to me." "I found something," I said. "Don't tell me it's worse." "It's worse," I said. "My mom started a baby fund for Tori. $6,000. Whole family contributed." There was a long pause. Then Imani said, low and sharp, "And for you?" "Nothing." "Harper," she said, "I need you to hear me. You're not crazy. You're not sensitive. You're not jealous. You're seeing the truth." I closed my eyes. Imani continued, "What are you going to do with the proof?" "That's the thing," I said. "I don't know yet." "Then don't rush," she said, "but save everything. Screenshot everything, because people like your mom don't stop, they escalate." After we hung up, I created a folder on my phone. Baby Fund. I saved the screenshot. Then I went through my texts with my mom and saved every message where she dismissed me. Every "don't be dramatic," every "this isn't about you," every "be positive." Then I did something I never thought I'd do. I started writing down dates. The day I miscarried. The day she posted the nursery. The day she texted about seating charts. The day she called me dramatic. The day I found the fund. Because if I was going to be painted as the villain, I was going to make sure I had the timeline that proved I wasn't. And while I was doing that, my mom texted again. "Mom, also, Tori wants immediate family only at the hospital when the baby comes. So don't take it personal if she doesn't want visitors right away." My stomach dropped. Not because I wanted to be there, but because my mom had already decided I didn't count as immediate family in the moments that mattered. I stared at the message until my eyes blurred. Then I replied with 2 words. "Me, understood." And for the first time since the miscarriage, I felt something shift. Not healing. Not peace. Something colder. Clarity. The baby shower was on Saturday. I told myself I wasn't going. I told Julian the first wasn't going. I told Imani I wasn't going. Then Saturday morning came, and my mom called me 4 times before 9 a.m. When I finally answered, her voice was already sharpened into a weapon. "Where are you?" "At home," I said. "Harper," she hissed, like my name was a disappointment. "Do you have any idea how it looks if you don't show up?" "I don't care how it looks." "Yes, you do," she snapped. "Because you always do. Now get dressed and come. Tori is pregnant. This is her time." I swallowed. "And what about me?" There was a beat of silence, like she couldn't believe I asked. "What about you?" she repeated. "I lost my baby," I said quietly. Her sigh came through the phone like she was bored. "Harper, I'm not doing this with you today." That line. "I'm not doing this with you." As if grief was a hobby I wouldn't shut up about. As if the miscarriage was a tantrum. "I'm not coming," I said. Her voice went cold. "Fine, then don't come crying to me when people start asking questions." She hung up. Julian found me standing in the kitchen, phone still in my hand, staring at nothing. "You're shaking," he said. "I know," I whispered. "I hate that I still want her to love me." Julian stepped closer. She's not gonna give you what you deserve, Harper. I nodded, and I hated that he was right. But here's what my mom didn't understand. She'd spent years training me to show up, to swallow my feelings and perform, to protect her image even when it cost me my dignity. So when she threatened me with people asking questions, my brain did exactly what she'd conditioned it to do. It panicked. And then it got strategic. Fine, I said suddenly. Julian blinked. Fine, what? I'll go, I said, grabbing my coat, but I'm not going to be quiet. He stared at me for a moment, like he was making sure I meant it. Do you want me to come? He asked. No, I said. If you come, they'll blame you. They'll say, you're controlling me. I need them to see this is me. I drove to my parents' house in Oak Park, with my heart pounding so hard it hurt. The driveway was packed. Balloons were tied to the mailbox. A big sign on the lawn said, Welcome Baby Mitchell, in glittering blue letters. Inside, the living room looked like a Pinterest board exploded. Diaper cakes. Gift bags. A dessert table with frosted cookies shaped like baby bottles. And in the center of it all was my mom, Diane Winters, smiling like she was hosting the Oscars. The moment she saw me, she marched over and grabbed my arm. Good, she said through her teeth. Just smile. She pulled me toward the kitchen like she was repositioning furniture. Tori was there, glowing in a tight white dress, one hand on her belly, surrounded by aunties telling her she was radiant. When she saw me, she gave me a quick smile that didn't reach her eyes. Oh, she said, you came. Yeah, I said quietly. She looked me up and down. You look tired. I am. Before I could say anything else, Aunt Cheryl, my mom's sister and her loudest supporter, swept over with a plastic cup of punch. There she is, she announced. Harper! I forced a polite smile. Aunt Cheryl leaned in, lowering her voice like she was being kind. Listen, baby, we all know you've been going through it, but today is about Tori. Don't make it awkward, okay? My throat tightened. I'm not trying to... She patted my hand. Good girl. Good girl. Like I was a dog being trained. Then, as if God himself had written the script for maximum cruelty, a woman from church, Mrs. Laverne Price, the pastor's wife, walked up holding a gift bag. Harper, she said warmly, honey, it's so good to see you. I heard you've been emotional lately. My mom's eyes flicked to me. Warning. Mrs. Price smiled wider. But you know what? God's timing is perfect. Everything happens for a reason. My vision went blurry. Tori laughed softly. Right? Like, you can't be dramatic about everything. I turned to her. What did you just say? I asked. She shrugged, casual as breathing. I mean, Mom said you've been really dramatic since my baby died. My mom jumped in immediately. Tori, don't. But it was too late. The room felt like it tilted. Because there it was. Proof that my mom hadn't just dismissed me privately. She'd been telling people a story about me. A story where I wasn't grieving. I was dramatic. And in that moment, standing in a kitchen full of smiling women and baby shower cookies, I realized exactly how this was going to end. Before I tell you what my mom bought Tori after she gave birth, be honest. If your own mother called your miscarriage dramatic, would you cut her off? Yes or no? Drop it in the comments. Because I didn't cut her off right then. Not yet. First, I was going to let her hang herself with the image she cared about more than me. Tori gave birth on a Thursday at 3:11 a.m. I know the exact time because my mom texted it to me like it was a press release. Mom, he's here! 3:11 a.m. 7 pounds 4 ounces. Perfect. God is good. A photo followed. Tori in a hospital bed, hair somehow still curled, smiling like a magazine cover. The baby was swaddled in a blue blanket, and my mom's manicured hand was in the corner of the frame, like she couldn't stand not being included. I stared at the picture for a long time. Not because I wasn't happy the baby was healthy. I was. A baby being born should be a beautiful thing. But it felt like watching a celebration through a glass wall while I was still bleeding out on the other side. Julian leaned over my shoulder and read the text. His jaw tightened. "Are you going?" "Did she invite me?" I asked. He didn't answer because we both knew. At 10:30 a.m., my dad texted, "Dad, hospital's packed. We'll let you know when it calms down." At noon, Tori posted on Instagram a boomerang of her holding the baby with the caption, "We did it." Her friends flooded the comments with heart emojis and mommy goals and "You're glowing." My mom reshared it with, "My baby girl made me a grandma." No one asked if I wanted to meet the baby. No one asked if I was okay. No one remembered that 2 weeks earlier, I'd been in an ER bed with an empty uterus and a doctor saying, "I'm sorry." The next day, my mom finally called. "Okay," she said briskly, like she was scheduling a dentist appointment. "You can come by at 4, but keep it short. Tori's exhausted." I almost laughed. Exhausted. When I'd miscarried, my mom had been too busy for the seating chart. Now, I was being allowed a supervised visit like I was a distant cousin. "Fine," I said. Julian drove me, even though I'd told him not to come inside. He parked and squeezed my hand. "If anything feels off," he said, "text me. I'm not leaving." I nodded and stepped out into the cold. Inside the hospital room, it smelled like sanitizer and baby powder. Tori was propped up in bed, Brad sitting beside her looking proud and useless. My mom was in the corner arranging gift bags like she was setting up a display. When Tori saw me, her face did that thing it always did. Polite smile, no warmth. "Oh," she said. "Hey." "Hey," I replied. I walked to the bassinet. The baby was tiny, perfect, soft. His mouth moved in his sleep like he was dreaming of milk. Something in my chest tightened. For 1 second, I hated myself for feeling envy. Then I reminded myself, I didn't envy her baby. I envied the way my family showed up for her. My mom stepped beside me and whispered, "Smile." I turned slightly. "What?" "People are watching," she murmured. "Tori's friends are coming in and out. Don't make it weird." I stared at her. Don't make it weird. As if grief was a personality flaw. Tori shifted in bed and held her arm out. "You can hold him if you want." I hesitated, then nodded. A nurse showed me how to support his head and placed him carefully into my arms. He was warm, real, alive. And for a moment, despite everything, I felt my eyes burn. Tori watched me like she was waiting for something, tears maybe, so she could roll her eyes and call me dramatic again. I swallowed hard and handed the baby back. "Congratulations," I said. "Thanks," she replied, flat. My mom clapped her hands together. "Okay, big surprise time." She reached into a large gift bag and pulled out a glossy black box. Tori's eyes lit up. "Mom, no way." My stomach dropped before I even knew why. My mom opened the box like she was unveiling jewelry on a shopping channel. Inside was a watch. Not just any watch. A Rolex. Even Brad sat up straighter. "Wait, seriously?" My mom beamed. "Of course! A push present! You earned this, baby!" Tori squealed and held out her wrist immediately. My mom fastened it on her like she was crowning her. It gleamed under the hospital lights. Gold and silver, clean and heavy-looking, the kind of thing you notice from across a room. Tori held her wrist up and took a photo. Brad leaned in. "That's insane." My mom laughed. "My daughter just gave me my grandson. She deserves the world." I stood there, my hands empty, and felt something in me go cold. Because my mom didn't just celebrate Tori, she rewarded her. And in that moment, I remembered the last thing my mom had said to me on the night of my miscarriage. Your body knew. Maybe you weren't ready. I didn't say anything. I couldn't trust my voice. I left after 10 minutes. In the hallway, I leaned against the wall and breathed through the nausea. Not pregnancy nausea. The kind that comes when your body is trying to reject something toxic, and it isn't sure if that toxic thing is grief or your own blood. When I got to the car, Julian took one look at my face and said, "What happened?" "They bought her a Rolex," I whispered. Julian stared. "A Rolex?" I nodded, and I got told to stop being dramatic after my baby died. Julian's knuckles turned white around the steering wheel. "Harper," he said carefully, "what are you going to do?" I looked out the window at the hospital entrance, where my mother was probably already telling someone she was the best grandma on earth. "I'm going to let her talk," I said, "because she always does. And I'm going to record it." I didn't confront my mom right away. That's what she expected. She expected tears, accusations, a scene she could use as proof that I was unstable, dramatic, jealous. So I stayed quiet for a week and let her do what she always did, perform. She posted the Rolex. She posted the baby. She posted long captions about God's miracles. And family is everything. She tagged Tori. She tagged Brad. She tagged the church women who'd commented. She soaked up the praise like sunlight. Then, on the 8th day, she texted me. "Mom, meet us for coffee. We need to talk about how you've been acting." How I'd been acting. My baby died, and she was framing it like I'd been rude at a dinner party. I texted back one word. "Okay." Julian wanted to come. I said no. Not because I didn't want him there, but because I needed the conversation to be clean, simple, uncontested. No excuse for her to say, "Your husband put ideas in your head." I met my mom at a cafe near Oak Park, neutral territory, public enough that she'd keep her voice soft. She arrived in a camel coat, pearls, hair perfect. My dad trailed behind her like he was always late to his own life. My mom sat down and sighed dramatically. "Harper." I didn't speak. I just placed my phone on the table, screen down, like it was nothing. She glanced at it, then back at me. "I don't know what you want from us." "I want you to stop calling me dramatic," I said calmly. My mom's mouth tightened. "You have been dramatic." I blinked slowly. "My baby died." "And I said I was sorry," she snapped, then lowered her tone again when the barista walked by. "But Harper, you cannot expect the world to stop because you had a miscarriage." I stared at her. The world didn't stop, but you didn't even show up. She leaned back. "Because there was nothing I could do." "There was plenty you could do," I said. "You could have visited. You could have brought food. You could have sat with me. You could have not posted nursery photos 20 minutes after I told you I was losing my baby." My dad cleared his throat. "Harper?" I held up a hand. "I'm talking to Mom." My mom's eyes flashed. "You're being unfair." "Am I?" I asked. "You raised $6,000 for Tori's baby fund. You spent thousands more on gifts, including a Rolex. But you couldn't even ask if I needed help with my medical bills after the ER." My mom scoffed. "That's different." "How?" She leaned forward, voice sharp now because she was losing control. Because Tori achieved something. I went still. My mom continued, like she was explaining kindergarten math. She brought life into this family. She gave birth. She made me a grandmother. That's an achievement. I swallowed hard. And what did I do? My mom's eyes narrowed. You lost something. The words landed like a slap. She didn't say you suffered a loss. She didn't say you went through something traumatic. She said it like I'd dropped a plate. You lost something. She sat back, satisfied with her logic. There's a difference, she said. Celebrating life is important. You need to stop making everything about your grief. My hands were steady, but my insides were screaming. So that's it, I said quietly. That's what you really think. My mom lifted her chin. It's the truth. I nodded once. Okay, I said. My dad looked relieved, like he thought the conversation was over. But it wasn't. Because now I had it. Her real belief, in her own words, clean, clear, undeniable. I stood up, picked up my phone, and smiled politely. Thanks for meeting, I said. Tell Tori I said hi. My mom blinked, suspicious. That's it? That's it, I said. I walked out of the cafe, got into my car, and sat there with my hands on the steering wheel, breathing like I'd just been underwater. Then I opened my phone and saved the recording to a folder labeled Achieved versus Lost. And for the first time since the miscarriage, I didn't feel helpless. I felt dangerous. Because I knew exactly where my mom's power lived. And I knew exactly how to take it from her. My mom hosted the Meet the Baby brunch like it was a press conference. She didn't just want people to see Tori's son. She wanted people to see her as the grandmother who did everything right. The dining room in her Oak Park house was packed with relatives, church friends, and 2 women from her Bible study, who I'd only ever seen when my mom needed an audience. There were balloons again, a banner again, a dessert table again. And there, right in the center of it all, was Tori, glowing, laughing, bouncing her newborn gently in her arms like she was born for this role. The Rolex sat on her wrist like a trophy. My mom floated through the room with a camera in one hand and a platter in the other, announcing things like, "Isn't he perfect?" and "Tori's such a natural mother," and "God really blessed our family." She saw me walk in, and her smile tightened, like she was forcing her face into position. "Harper," she said, too loudly, "you came." "Yeah," I said. She leaned in, voice low. "Please, don't do anything today." That sentence told me everything. She already knew. She could feel it. Something in her had registered that I wasn't here to clap. I didn't respond. I just walked past her and found a seat near the edge of the room, beside my cousin Maya, one of the few people in our family who wasn't obsessed with playing nice. Maya looked at me, then at the Rolex on Tori's wrist, then back at me. Her expression didn't change, but her eyes softened. "I heard things got tense," she whispered. "Tense is one word for it," I said quietly. Across the room, Aunt Cheryl was holding court, making sure everyone heard her version of events before they heard mine. "Harper's been having a hard time," she said loudly, "but you know how she is. Sensitive, dramatic. We're just trying to keep the peace for Tori and the baby." My jaw clenched. Imani arrived 10 minutes later, exactly on time, wearing a calm expression like she was coming to a business meeting. She walked straight to me and sat down like she belonged there. "You good?" she asked. "No," I said honestly, "but I'm ready." She nodded once. "Then don't let them rush you. Speak slow. Let the silence do the work." My mom clinked a spoon against a glass. "Okay, everyone," she announced. "Before we eat, I just want to say something." People quieted. Phones came out. My mom loved moments like this. She stood beside Tori, one hand resting on Tori's shoulder like she owned her. "I just want to thank God," she began, "for blessing our family with this miracle. And I want to thank my daughter Tori for making me a grandmother. She gave us the greatest gift. And as her mother, I wanted her to know how proud I am, how much she's achieved." Achieved. That word hit my spine like ice water. My mom continued, voice thick with emotion that sounded real enough to fool strangers. "Not everyone understands what it means to bring life into the world," she said, "but Tori did. She did something beautiful, and she deserves to be celebrated." She raised her glass. "To Tori?" The room echoed. "To Tori?" Tori smiled, basking. Brad kissed her cheek. Cameras flashed. And then my mom turned slightly, her eyes scanning the room until they landed on me. "And I just want to say," she added, voice sharpening under the sweetness, "that our family is stronger when we don't let negativity steal our joy. So today, we're choosing gratitude." That was aimed at me. Everyone felt it, even if they didn't understand why. I stood up. The room went quiet, the way rooms do when they sense incoming disaster. My mom's smile froze. "Harper." "Just a minute," I said calmly. I walked toward the center of the room. My hands didn't shake. My voice didn't wobble. I didn't give them the dramatic moment they'd been waiting to weaponize. "I love that we're celebrating life today," I said. "I really do. But before we do, I need everyone here to understand what my mom means when she says, achieved." My mom's face drained of color. I held up my phone, and I need you to hear it in her own words. Aunt Cheryl stepped forward. "Harper, don't!" Imani's voice cut through, quiet but razor sharp. "Let her speak." I pressed play. My mom's recorded voice filled the room, clear as day. "Because Tori achieved something, Harper. You lost something. There's a difference. Celebrating life is important. You need to stop making everything about your grief." Silence. Not awkward silence. The kind of silence that feels like the air got sucked out of the room. Tori's smile vanished. Brad blinked like he couldn't process what he'd just heard. My dad stared at the floor. And my mom looked like a statue that had just realized it could shatter. I let the silence sit for 3 full seconds. Then I held up another screenshot, my mom's Tori's Baby Fund Blue Heart group chat. "And just so you understand the difference in action," I said, "my mom raised $6,000 from family to spoil our girl for baby expenses. I wasn't even included. After my miscarriage, no one checked on me. No one offered help. No one sent flowers. No one visited. I got one text and then nursery photos." A murmur spread through the room. Confused, angry, embarrassed. Maya's voice came from behind me, soft but loud enough. "Wait, there was a fund?" Aunt Cheryl tried to laugh it off. "This is inappropriate." "No," an older churchwoman said, frowning. "This is heartbreaking." My mom finally found her voice. "Harper," she said, trembling with rage, "you are humiliating this family." I looked at her. "No," I said quietly. "You did that. I just stopped covering for you." Then I walked out. I didn't slam the door. I didn't cry. I didn't shout. I just left them sitting in the truth. For the first hour after I left, my phone didn't stop buzzing. My mom called. My dad called. Tori texted. Aunt Cheryl left a voicemail so long it cut off mid-rant. I didn't answer any of it. Because the moment you respond, people like my mother think they still have you on a string. Instead, I did the third thing. The thing that wasn't about family rooms and brunch speeches. The thing that attacked the only world my mother truly lived for, public image. That night, I posted an Instagram story. One slide. Clean, brutal, impossible to spin. Left side. My mom's own photo of Tori holding the baby, Rolex shining, caption about she deserved the world. Right side. The text my mom sent me the night I miscarried. These things happen for a reason. Your body knew. And across the bottom I wrote, one daughter got a Rolex. One daughter got this. I didn't tag her. I didn't write a paragraph. I didn't beg for sympathy. I just posted the contrast and let people do what people always do when they see clear injustice. They talked. By morning, my mom had deleted her Rolex post, not because she felt guilty, because she was scared. Tori called me crying. You're ruining my moment, she said. I kept my voice calm. No, Tori, I'm ruining the lie. She sniffed. Mom said you're jealous. I'm not jealous of your baby, I said. I'm jealous that you got a mother. That silence on the line was the first honest moment we'd had in years. Then she whispered, Harper, why would you do this to us? To us? I repeated. You mean to Mom? She didn't answer. I hung up. 2 weeks passed. Then my mom tried to re-enter my life the way she always did, through guilt wrapped in softness. She texted from a new number. I miss you. Can we talk? I don't want our family broken. I stared at the message for a long time. Because there was a version of me, an older version of me, that would have answered. That would have taken crumbs and called it love. But I wasn't her anymore. 3 months later, Julian and I found out I was pregnant again. I didn't tell my family, not a single person. I told Imani, I told Maya, I told my therapist. I protected my peace like it was oxygen. But secrets don't stay secret in families like mine. Aunt Cheryl found out through Maya's mom and immediately told my mother. And for the first time in months, my mother showed up at my door. I saw her through the peephole. Perfect coat, perfect hair, eyes already wet, like she'd practiced the expression. I didn't open it. She knocked again. Harper, please. I opened the door just enough to speak. What do you want? Her face cracked into relief. Oh, thank God, I heard. I heard you're pregnant. I didn't answer. She stepped forward like she could just walk back into my life. I'm so happy for you. I've been praying for this. I can't wait to be a grandma to your baby, too. My stomach turned. I looked her straight in the eye. You're not going to be in this child's life, I said. Her face froze. What? You called me dramatic after my miscarriage, I said evenly. You told people I was unstable. You raised money to spoil Tori and ignored me when I was bleeding on my bathroom floor. You said she achieved something, and I lost something. Her lips trembled. I didn't mean... Yes, you did, I said, and you don't get to rewrite it. She started crying, loud, messy, performative. Harper, please, I'm your mother. And I'm your daughter, I said, the one you didn't show up for. She tried to grab the door. I stepped back and shut it. I locked it. Then I blocked the new number. Because that was the real revenge. Not a speech. Not a post. Not even the receipts. The real revenge was this. She lost access to me. She lost access to my peace. And she lost access to the grandchild she thought she could claim like a title. If you've ever been told you're dramatic for grieving, drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you made it this far without subscribing, it's fine. I survived my own mother. I'll survive you too. But subscribing would have been nice. I didn't destroy my family. I just stopped letting them destroy me. And once I did that, everything they built on my silence started collapsing on its own.